When teams in really regulated fields, think medical devices or pharma, first see a tool like QAtrial, they think they've got it pegged. They see tests, they see requirements, and they nod. But that first impression, it's nowhere near the full picture. So let's dive in and see why QAtrial is so much more, why it's a complete quality workspace. Okay, let's just ask the question that's probably on your mind right now. Great. Is this just another test management tool? It's a totally fair question. You see the basic building blocks and you naturally slot it into a category you already understand. But trust me, that misses the entire point. And this right here says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got your standard fare, requirements, tests, traceability. That's table stakes. But on the right, yeah, QAtrial has those too. But then there's all that other stuff. That blurred list, that's the secret sauce. That's what we're going to unpack, because that's where the real power is for these teams. To really get why that extra stuff matters so much, we have to start with the day-to-day reality for people working in these highly regulated industries. It's a completely different ballgame. Here's the absolute key. For these teams, just tracking your tests isn't the job. Not even close. It's just the price of admission. It's one little checkbox on a massive list of quality obligations they have to nail, all at the same time. Now, this is a huge mental shift. It's not about having a test record over here and a risk assessment in some spreadsheet over there. The thing that really matters, and what auditors are always looking for, is the rock-solid, unbreakable connection between all those things. If your data is sitting in silos, it's actually a liability. And we're not talking about fuzzy, abstract ideas here. We're talking about very specific, very serious standards. Things like ISO 1491 for medical device risk, or 21 CFR Part 11, which governs electronic signatures for the FDA, or GMP5 for GXP software. By the way, GXP just means Good Practice Quality Guidelines. These aren't suggestions, they're the law. And if you don't comply, your product might not see the light of day. It's that serious. So let's start peeling back the layers of this quality workspace. We'll start with the foundation, how it handles risk, what happens when things go wrong, and that all-important audit trail. First up, risk management. In these industries, this is not a nice-to-have. It is a legal requirement. And unlike just tracking it in a spreadsheet, QAtrial treats a risk assessment as a first-class citizen, a permanent, auditable record with its own history. So when an auditor asks to see your process, you're not scrambling to find a file. You're showing them a living, controlled system. So what happens when a test fails? In a typical project, okay, you log a bug. End of story. But here, a failure kicks off a formal, structured process called a Corrective and Preventive Action, or CAPA. It's this whole life cycle of investigation, action, and verification, where every single step needs evidence and a formal sign-off. And you've got to get this. A failed test isn't the end. It's the starting pistol for a mandatory workflow. In fact, one of the top reasons the FDA issues warning letters is for having a weak TAPA process. So having this built right in, linked directly to your tests, that is a massive, massive advantage. And finally, let's talk audit trails. A simple who changed what list just doesn't cut it. A 21 CFR Part 11 compliant system, what you see on the right, is a whole different beast. It's legally binding. It means you have to re-enter your password to sign something electronically. And you have to define what that signature actually means, like I'm approving this or I have reviewed this document. It ensures that records are trustworthy and that a signature is provably linked to one person. Okay, so we've covered that rock-solid quality foundation. Now let's get to the really exciting part, how QAtrial uses AI to automate some of the most difficult, time-consuming parts of the job. First up, there's the Compliance Readiness Score. Think of it like a credit score for your project's health. It's a single, real-time number that's constantly being calculated based on your test coverage, your risk status, missing signatures, all the key stuff. It gives you an instant pulse on just how ready you are for an audit. Now this is a total game changer. Normally, a gap analysis is this brutal manual process. You literally hire expensive consultants to sit in a room, read a dense standard like ISO 1345, and then manually compare it against all your documents. Well, the AI here automates that. It'll scan your project and tell you exactly what's missing. Like, hey, your design history file is missing a required section, or this risk isn't referenced in your verification plan. It's like having that expensive consultant built right into the software. So the AI Copilot is basically an intelligent assistant that's with you every step of the way. It'll help you classify a risk, it'll suggest why a test might have failed, recommend what to do about it. It can even generate the executive summaries and audit-ready reports you need. It's all about slashing manual effort and reducing the chance of human error.
Okay, so we've got the core quality engine and we've got the AI brain working on top of it. Let's bring this all home and talk about the huge advantage you get when all of this lives in one single workspace.
This little table really clarifies everything. On one end of the spectrum, you have your basic test tools. They do one thing, and that's it. On the other extreme, you've got these massive, unbelievably expensive enterprise systems that are often overkill. QAtrial is designed to hit that sweet spot right in the middle, a powerful, manageable workspace that gives you all the quality functions you actually need without the insane costs and complexity. And all of this leads to the one word that is the holy grail in the regulated world: traceability. When your requirements, your tests, your risks, and your corrective actions all live in the same place, the links between them are automatic. They're unbreakable. An auditor can click from a requirement to the test that proves it, to a failure, to the investigation, to the resolution, all without you ever touching a spreadsheet. That, right there, is the magic.
I absolutely love this analogy from the source material. It says it all. I mean, sure, a Swiss Army knife has a blade. It'll cut things, but nobody buys it just for the blade, right? You buy it for the screwdriver, the scissors, the can opener. The real value is in everything else that comes with it.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. What if you could stop juggling all those disconnected spreadsheets, Word documents, and separate tools? What if your entire quality system was just one single intelligent workspace that was actually designed for how you need to work? What would that change for you and your team?